Hello, everyone. My name is Joel Robinson, and today I'm going to be talking about why fans feel like they know celebrities. This is about parasocial relationships in the age of social media. Okay, so most people today follow at least a few celebrities, influencers, streamers, musicians, actors, or athletes online. Even if we do not really think about it, we see these people all the time. We see what they post, what they eat, who they hang out with, what they're promoting, and sometimes even what they are struggling with. After seeing someone so often, it can start to feel like we actually know them. That is what my lecture is about. I am talking about parasocial relationships, which are one-sided relationships where a fan or a viewer feels connected to a public figure who does not actually know them personally. Okay, so my main point is that parasocial relationships are not automatically bad, but social media has made them stronger. Celebrities and influencers feel more personal, more constant, and more reachable than they used to. Before social media, fans usually saw celebrities through movies, television, magazines, interviews, concerts, or the radio. Now people can follow them every day on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Twitch, and a bunch of other platforms. That makes the connection feel more direct, even when it is not still a real personal relationship. This matters in communication because it shows how media can create feelings of closeness, trust, and connection. The original idea of parasocial interaction comes from Donald Horton and R. Richard Wohl. They wrote about how audiences can feel a kind of closeness with media figures from a distance. Basically, someone on the screen can seem familiar, friendly, and personal to the audience, even though that person does not actually know the audience. And this can happen when a television host talks directly to the camera, when a musician shares personal stories, or when an actor seems relatable in interviews. The viewer might feel like they understand the person, but the relationship is still one-sided. And that idea is not new, but social media has changed it in a big way. A celebrity no longer appears in a movie, on a stage, or in a planned interview. Now, a fan can see a celebrity's daily posts, live videos, comments, and personal updates. Michelle Tabanor's dissertation helps explain this because she focuses on celebrities, fans, social media, and parasocial relationships. One important thing about her work is that she does not only look at the fan side, she also looks at the celebrity side, which makes the relationship seem like part of a bigger communication process. Social media makes parasocial relationships feel stronger because it creates the feeling of access. For example, when an influencer posts about their morning routine, their anxiety, their breakup, their family, or their goals, followers may feel like they are being let into that person's private life. But that access is still controlled. The influencer chooses what to post, what to hide, and how they present themselves. Even when the content feels personal, it is still media. That is one of the reasons these relationships can become confusing. They feel real because they are emotional, but they are not equal relationships. There can also be positive parts to parasocial relationships. I do not think it is fair to act like every fan relationship is unhealthy. Elizabeth Milkovich's article from Children's Mercy explains that parasocial relationships can sometimes make young people feel understood, accepted, inspired, or even motivated. For example, a teenager might feel encouraged by a public figure who talks openly about anxiety or body image, school pressure, family problems, or personal growth. Seeing someone they admire talk about those issues can make them feel less alone. That part matters because a lot of people use media for comfort, not just entertainment. That is why the topic needs balance. Fandom is not always a bad thing. Liking an actor, musician, athlete, streamer, influencer can be normal or even positive. People find comfort in entertainment, and sometimes public figures help people explain feelings they did not know how to say out loud. A musician's lyrics, a YouTuber's honesty, or an athlete's story can help someone feel motivated. So the problem is not simply caring about a celebrity. The problem starts when a person forgets that the relationship has limits. The unhealthy side happens when fans begin to believe they truly know the celebrity or influencer. This can lead people to overread posts, lyrics, outfits, comments, or even silence. Amy Whiteside's thesis explains this darker side through the idea of parasocial savior behavior. This is when fans believe a public figure is being harmed, controlled, hidden, or silenced. And the fans start to feel like their job is to save that person. But in those cases, fandom moves past support and it turns to obsession, suspicion, and personal responsibility. This matters because parasocial relationships can affect how people interpret information. A normal post can start to look like a secret message. A song lyric can seem like proof of a hidden truth. A celebrity taking a break from public life can make some fans believe something terrible is happening. Whiteside's work shows how fandom, social media, and conspiracy thinking can connect when fans feel too close to a public figure. This is where admiration can become unhealthy because the fan is no longer just enjoying the celebrity's work, they're building a whole story around someone they don't even know. This topic connects strongly to communication because parasocial relationships are created through messages. Celebrities and influencers communicate through images, captions, videos, interviews, live streams, branding, and even personal stories. Audiences then respond emotionally to those messages. Even when there is no real conversation, the audience may still feel connected. That shows how powerful media communication can be. It can shape trust, identity, loyalty, and even the way people understand relationships. It also shows how social media changes the meaning of closeness. A person can feel close to someone because they see them every day, but seeing someone every day is not the same as knowing them. A fan might know a celebrity's favorite food, relationship history, or their personal struggles, but that does not mean the celebrity knows anything about the fan. Social media makes that boundary harder to see because it gives the appearance of direct connection. Likes, replies, comments, and live streams can make the relationship feel more personal even when it is still mostly one-sided. I also think the topic is easy to connect to real life because most people have probably had some version of this feeling. Maybe it is not always with a huge celebrity. It could be a YouTuber, streamer, podcaster, a TikTok creator, or even someone who makes videos about a specific hobby. When someone talks to the camera every day, share their own personal stories, and make audiences feel included, it can start to feel like they are part of the viewer's life. That does not mean the viewer is weird, it just shows how strong repeated media exposure can be. The main takeaway from this lecture is not that people should stop enjoying celebrities or influencers. That would be unrealistic, and honestly, it would miss the point. Fans can enjoy music, movies, shows, sports, YouTube, TikTok, and online communities in healthy ways. The real point is that people should understand how media creates the feeling of personal connection. Parasocial relationships can be comforting and inspiring, but they can also become unhealthy when fans forget the difference between a media connection and a real relationship. In the end, social media has made public figures feel closer than ever before. Celebrities and influencers are not just distant faces on a screen anymore. They can appear in someone's feed every single day and share content that feels personal. That closeness can be powerful, but it also needs boundaries. A healthy fan can appreciate a public figure, learn from them, and feel inspired by them, while still remembering that admiration is not the same thing as actually knowing someone. The difference is what makes parasocial relationships important to understand. Thank you. I am Joel Robinson, and this has been Why Fans Feel Like They Know Celebrities, Parasocial Relationships in the Age of Social Media.